Most men think a hug is just a hug, but sometimes it's the moment she decides how she feels about you. And if you've ever felt her body go stiff in your arms or melt into you without understanding why, then you already know there's something deeper happening beneath the surface. Stay with me because near the end of this conversation, I'm going to share one subtle shift almost no man notices, and it changes everything. If you value honest conversations about attraction, psychology, and becoming a stronger man emotionally, quietly, like this video, and subscribe. Not for me, but for the kind of man you're becoming. Now, let's talk about something most men were never taught. A hug is not about your arms, it's about emotional safety. Desire, especially for a woman, does not begin in the body, it begins in the nervous system. If she feels safe, seen, and emotionally regulated in your presence, her body follows. If she feels rushed, uncertain, or evaluated, her body closes. When you hug her, she is not just feeling your chest or your hands, she is reading your state. Are you grounded? Are you tense? Are you seeking validation? Are you trying to take something from her? Or are you simply present? Many men hug with hidden need, and need has weight. It feels heavy, it feels like pressure, even if you say nothing. A powerful hug begins before contact. It begins with how you approach her. Slow down. Desire builds in anticipation. If you move quickly, you communicate urgency. If you pause for half a second before opening your arms, you communicate choice. That pause tells her, I'm here, I see you, I'm not rushing. That subtle difference changes her internal response. Then, when your arms wrap around her, don't collapse your chest forward. Stand tall, relaxed shoulders, breathe through your nose, let your body be steady. Women are biologically wired to read stability. When your breathing is calm and slow, her body subconsciously mirrors it. This is called co regulation. Her nervous system syncs with yours. And when her nervous system relaxes, desire has space to exist. Notice something important. I'm not talking about squeezing harder. I'm not talking about technique in a mechanical sense. I'm talking about energy. If your hug says, please like me, she feels it. If your hug says, I need this, she feels it. If your hug says, you're safe here, she feels that too. Most men underestimate how deeply women feel intention. And here's another truth. Don't rush to pull away. Men often hug for 1 or 2 seconds and release. That communicates hesitation, uncertainty, or emotional distance. If she leans in, stay a moment longer, then feels slightly comfortable, not awkward, just grounded. Let there be stillness. Stillness creates tension. Tension creates awareness. Awareness creates desire. But only when it's rooted in calm confidence. When you become a man whose touch feels steady instead of searching, warm instead of grabbing, present instead of performative, your hug stops being casual. It becomes emotional communication. And emotional communication is the doorway to desire. Because the truth is, attraction is rarely about what you do, it's about how she feels when she's with you. And a hug is often the first honest test of that. When you hug her, you are not just holding her body, you are stepping into her emotional space. And that space is sensitive. Every woman carries invisible experiences inside her arms, past disappointments, moments of being misunderstood, times when someone touched her without truly feeling her. So when you pull her close, her body quietly asks one question: can I relax here? Desire is not forced. It unfolds when resistance disappears. This is why where you place your hands matters. Not in a mechanical way, but in a psychological way. Place your hands with certainty, not hesitation. If your hands hover awkwardly or shift nervously, it communicates uncertainty. But when your hands settle naturally, mid-back, firm but gentle, it signals leadership without dominance. Leadership in energy, not control. A grounded hug has three qualities: warmth, containment, and patience. Warmth means your body isn't rigid. You're not stiff like you're posing. You're relaxed but not slouched, strong but not tense. Containment means your arms create a subtle sense of being held, not trapped, not restricted, just enveloped. This activates something very primal in her nervous system, the feeling of being protected without being overpowered. And patience. Patience is the part most men rush past. When you hug her, breathe slowly. Feel her breathing. If she exhales deeply against you, that's not random. That's her nervous system letting go. And when she lets go, emotionally, desire can surface. Now, let's talk about something deeper. A hug that triggers desire is never about squeezing tighter. It's about emotional contrast. If you're playful most of the time, let your hug become slower and more intentional. If you're usually serious, let your hug carry warmth. Contrast creates awareness. Awareness creates emotional charge. And here's something subtle but powerful: your chin placement. If you rest your chin gently near the side of her head, not pressing, just close, it communicates intimacy without intensity. It feels protective, familiar, safe. But if you bury your face quickly or grip too tightly, her body may read urgency instead of strength. And urgency weakens polarity. Women are deeply responsive to men who move with calm intention, not because it's dramatic, but because it feels rare. In a world where everything is rushed, distracted, and performative, stillness feels powerful. When she hugs you back, pay attention. Is she wrapping her arms fully around you? Is she lingering? Is her body soft? These signals matter more than words. If she softens into you, don't start talking immediately. Let silence exist for a second longer than normal. Silence inside a hug is emotionally intimate. It allows her to feel instead of think. And desire grows in feeling, not in analysis. Now, here's the truth most men overlook. If you are disconnected from your own body, she will feel that too. If you're anxious, distracted, or in your head wondering, is this working? You pull yourself out of presence. And when you leave presence, the hug loses depth. Before you hug her, center yourself. One slow breath, shoulders relaxed, mind quiet. A man who can regulate himself emotionally becomes magnetic physically, because when she feels steady energy from you, she doesn't just feel held, she feels understood without words. And that is where desire quietly begins to bloom. Now let's get even deeper, because this is where most men completely miss the point. A hug is not just physical contact, it's a form of communication that speaks directly to her emotions, often before she even realizes it. And the most powerful hugs aren't about showing strength or impressing her. They're about conveying emotional reliability. Think about it. How often does a woman meet a man whose presence actually makes her feel safe? Not just physically, but emotionally? When she leans into your arms and trusts that you won't pull away or rush her, that moment resonates far deeper than any words you could say. That is where desire starts to quietly, almost invisibly, form. This is why the subtlety of your energy matters more than anything else. Are you calm, grounded, and fully present? Or are you distracted, checking your phone, thinking about what's next? Presence is magnetic. It tells her without a single word that she matters in this moment and that you are capable of holding space for her emotions. Another key factor most men overlook is micro timing. How long you stay in the hug, the rhythm of your breath, the subtle pressure of your hands, all of it communicates something she feels without needing to analyze. A slow, steady breath co regulates her nervous system. A gentle but secure placement of your hands signals protection without possession. These tiny signals quietly tell her, you can let go here. And here's an insight that will change the way you approach hugs forever. Desire isn't built by pushing her closer, it's built by giving her the freedom to move toward you, emotionally, physically, and psychologically. If you hug her with desperation or need, it communicates urgency and anxiety. But if you hug her from calm confidence, giving her a moment to lean in or pull away, it communicates choice. And choice is irresistible. The eyes play a surprisingly important role too. If you hug her and close your eyes completely, it can feel disconnected, almost absent. If your eyes stay gently open, soft, and aware, it communicates engagement. You're not just touching her body, you're connecting with her presence. That small adjustment tells her that you see her, really see her, and that she's safe in your space. And finally, understand that the hug itself is just the beginning. It sets the tone for all interactions that follow. A well held hug leaves a lingering emotional trace. She carries that feeling even after the embrace ends. It affects the way she thinks about you, the way she notices your energy, and the subtle pull she feels toward you without realizing why. In other words, a hug can be a turning point. It can elevate your connection from casual to meaningful without a single word. And that's what separates a man who understands attraction from one who just tries to hug. Because desire, real desire, is always rooted in how safe, understood, and emotionally attended she feels. And you can communicate all of that in less than a breath if you approach it with awareness. Let's talk about the subtle ways your body communicates desire during a hug, because this is where awareness truly becomes irresistible. Most men think body language is about showing off strength, broad shoulders, or confidence in a superficial way, but women feel more than they see. They feel energy, tension, and presence. Every tilt of your head, every shift in your weight, every fraction of a second you linger or release, it communicates meaning she absorbs unconsciously. Start with your torso. When you step into a hug, don't lean forward aggressively. Instead, approach with an open chest, shoulders relaxed, and a slight forward inclination that feels inviting, not imposing. Your chest doesn't have to crush her, it just has to convey warmth and stability. A woman can feel the difference between a man who is grounded in himself and a man who is reaching for approval or connection. Then there's your alignment. Keep your spine straight but relaxed, grounded feet, evenly distributed weight. When your body signals steadiness, her nervous system can relax into you. She doesn't need to consciously think, he's stable. She just feels safe, and safety is the prelude to desire. Your hands also carry immense power, not through force, but through intention. Place them where she naturally expects support, mid-back, shoulder blades, or lightly along her upper arms. Not gripping, not pressing. Firm yet soft. Gentle but assured. A woman can feel uncertainty in your touch in an instant. Your hands are more than physical contact. They are a message. You are secure here. Breathing is another tool most men never use. When you inhale slowly as you embrace her and exhale in a calm, measured rhythm, it subconsciously signals that you are present, composed, and in control of your own state. Her body mirrors this rhythm, creating a moment of physiological connection that feels intimate without any words. Micro pauses matter. Don't rush to pull away the moment the hug is technically over. If she lingers, let your presence linger too. That small silence between leaving and staying deepens emotional impact. Desire often grows in these subtle gaps, in the tension that exists between connection and release. And finally, think about energy contrast. If you are playful most of the time, let the hug be grounding. If you are usually serious, let the hug carry warmth and lightness. Desire is amplified when there's contrast, when your hug communicates something different from what she's used to experiencing from you. That contrast creates emotional attention, and attention is the seed of attraction. Remember, it's not about tricking her. It's not about manipulative techniques. It's about consciously embodying qualities that naturally draw her in: calm, grounded confidence, emotional awareness, and presence. When your body communicates steadiness, warmth, and patience, the hug becomes more than a gesture. It becomes an unspoken conversation of safety, attraction, and emotional resonance. And once you understand this, every embrace has the potential to deepen connection, spark desire, and leave a lingering emotional imprint that she carries with her long after you've let go. If you've been paying attention, there's one final element, one nuance that almost every man misses that can make your hug unforgettable. That's what we'll explore in the last section. Now we arrive at the final, almost invisible detail that separates an ordinary hug from one that lingers in her mind long after you've pulled away. This is the nuance most men never notice, yet it's what creates magnetic attraction without a single word. It's about intention combined with awareness, a quality that she can feel before she even realizes it. Desire is never forced. It grows in subtlety, and the difference lies in how fully present you are with her in that moment. First, notice your mental state. Are you thinking about what comes next, or are you fully immersed in this connection? Your mind sets the tone. If your attention is divided, your body unconsciously signals impatience, hesitation, or distraction. But if your mind is fully present, calm, observant, patient. She feels it as safety, warmth, and understanding. Presence is magnetic. Next, your energy must communicate choice, not need. Almost every man hugs from a place of seeking approval, seeking closeness, seeking her reaction. This creates tension she feels immediately. The most compelling hugs come from a man who is already emotionally whole, someone who approaches connection from strength, not deficiency. You are giving her the gift of your presence, not taking something from her. Here's the subtle physical cue that amplifies desire: micro guided leaning, not forced, not controlling. Simply adjusting your body so that there's a gentle, intuitive alignment. If she leans into you slightly, subtly match her inclination without overwhelming her. This creates unspoken attunement. You are responding to her energy instead of imposing yours. She feels mirrored, she feels seen, and that awareness triggers desire on a quiet neurological level. Another often overlooked factor is the ending of the hug. Most men either pull away too quickly or linger awkwardly. The key is to release with grace and confidence. Let the separation be smooth, intentional, and unhurried. A pause before you step back communicates calm control. A simple nod, a soft exhale, or even a fleeting eye contact afterward reinforces the emotional connection you just created. Desire is drawn to subtlety, not force. Finally, remember that desire isn't about what you do, it's about how she feels. Every element of the hug, your posture, your touch, your breath, your presence, your timing, combines into a single emotional message. You are safe, you are seen, you are valued. When she feels that, her body responds before her mind even realizes it, and desire grows naturally, organically, without manipulation or pressure. So the next time you hug her, slow down, be present, breathe, ground yourself. Let your hands, your posture, and your energy communicate calm confidence. Let her lean in, let her linger, and most importantly, let yourself be fully there, steady, warm, and emotionally available. That one shift, being completely present while offering safety, choice, and attunement, is what transforms a simple embrace into a moment she won't forget. A hug isn't just a gesture, it's a message. And when delivered with awareness and care, it becomes one of the most powerful tools you have to spark desire, deepen connection, and leave a lasting impression. This is the subtle art most men never learn. And once you master it, everything changes.